According to God, the white man is the devil.
See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white man. Need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that let bygone be. Boy, ass need to stop and ask you to prop. It's about to get serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed he up for parole because of the COVID. It feel like the hoes in this world that don't go together. Know it's gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settle. Yeah, see the prophets. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. You know, like we all come together. Cause you know what I'm saying? They say God so loved the world. God so loved the world and know. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to prop. One step, I'm solid for show. To the fake nigga, stay silent, I got it, let's go, let's go. I ain't taking no loss, ain't no token when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just pay with your own. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell him we can't keep it slate. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high, got your baby pass through the fire. Ask you the prophets, that baby so below to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Devil will failure, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. Push your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop and ask you the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for, lying. That's why it exists, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga.
See, y'all think it's just about us in here, but this is about an oppressive, fucked up system designed to keep niggas down and shit. Y'all wouldn't know nothing about that. What about you, little nigga? You know about that?
Yes.
Oh, you know about that? Tell me what you know about that. Tell me what you think about that.
I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you gon' find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. Belly of the beast, we been living in hell. They like, damn Kai, how could you tell? Put us in the project, set us up to fail. Round here, bullets be flying like hell. Too many of my niggas either dead or in jail. Make a nigga work when you locked in a cell. Can't find work when you out on bail, but your homie got the work, so we passed you a scale. Got them birds like the Bible got quail. Niggas selling out cause they mama got bills. Turning to coons like Oprah and Gail. How you sell your soul just to get a little kale? They put you in a dress when you get a record deal. Wanna see a nigga getting high on pills? You can dance on a pole, you can sell that tail, but they never tell a nigga that he can go to Yale. We all created equal, that's white males. All lives matter, not black males. Another mother crying, another coffin got a nail. How many brothers out here got killed? How many of our sisters out here gotta heal? How many more caps gotta get peeled? We beef with each other so quick to pull the steel. George Zimmerman still alive and well. I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you can find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. I turn up when it's real in the field. Feel. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Feel. Light-skinned nigga, you gon' find me in the field. Feel. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill, chill, yo, chill.
Prison industrial complex is a system situated at the intersection of government and private interests. It uses prisons as a solution to social, political, and economic problems. It includes human rights violations, the death penalty, slave labor, policing, courts, the media, political prisoners, and the elimination of dissent.
They just want us to die in silence. They just want us to die in silence. I might start me a fucking riot. Slave rebellion, no compliance. They just want us to die in silence. They murder minds like they got a license. I pray for the coronavirus to kill all of these violent tyrants. They prey on us like they poaching lions. World War III's on the horizon. Black and Hispanics form alliance. From the west coast to the islands, this pressure is making diamonds. They go waking sleeping giants. I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you can find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. I turn up when it's real in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. But feel.
Nigga, did you just say what I was trying to say, but smarter? I like this little nigga.
One West, 12 tribes, UPK. Yeah. I'm a One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters. I'll ride for those letters. The squad is forever. Ever since a nigga was young, I knew what I wanted. Knew that we could either be hunters or with the hunted. Meaning only choice was the predators or the prey. Shortest man wherever I was, but I didn't play. And I started spitting that fire at every stage. Rap gave a little bit of buzz, but it didn't stay. Then I started hustling, getting at some bread. I always went broke, making sure that my niggas fed. But then I looked for loyalty, niggas, they wasn't there. The same that I shed blood for, and it wasn't fair. But fuck it though, turn they back on a real nigga. It's when I found UPK and I'm still with them. Trill with them, cause I've been in the field with them. Fringed up garments, rocking the shield with them. I never turn traitor, I never let my colors fly. Never get my brother's book. I ain't like that other guy, nothing like them funny groups. They just better get in line. If you in the middle, you confused, you should pick a side. Me, I must stay loyal to the king till the day I die. I am One West, head beating in my chest. Fuck all the rest, we stayed, y'all left. Suckers ran scared, had to clean up y'all mess. That's why we took over, I can see that y'all stressed. We ain't got time to worry about no hater. My life is like a movie, should come with a narrator. They gather data, they wanna see us assimilated. Marching through the streets, know we coming, you hear our cadence. All you smell is Henny and frankincense is the fragrance. Cause I'm a One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters, I'll ride for those letters. The squad is forever. I'm a One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters, I'll ride for those letters. My squad is forever. It's forever. Squad is forever. When a nigga in this mode like I get so hyped, shining blinding like a strobe light. I'm my only calm, so I battle me back and forth nights. Like a bullfight, I see red charge and destroy might. Gave me foresight, so I know that winning the war might have them all tight. Fuck their feelings, cause they the soft type. I was always taught never turn your back on your brothers. Take on any enemy, know the strength in these numbers. UPK official, and ain't no coward among us. So make me go and bang with them sticks like I'm a drummer. How y'all gonna run with the style that we invented? You always talk the war was wild, but you never in it. All that coulda, shoulda, woulda. I see how you try to spin it. The way my soldiers move out, you think that we got evicted. This One West in the building, we owning it while you renting. Lyrical exercise in the booth is my Planet Fitness. Words move you like Alice Bennett. Bars heavy, so when I bench it, I'm building up a hardcore. I flex when I'm finished. And right after a light workout, it's back to business. Group sick of UPK, cause we the illest. I got one question, will they ever stop hating? Waiting on this war so long, I'm salivating. Niggas turn bitch so strong, I call them Caitlyn. I get the green light, let's go, no hesitation. Y'all just been holding our spot like reservations. Now we back to work, but you suckers still on vacation. Mixtape singles and even collaborations. They smiling in the face, but I know I see aggravation. You ain't got to hide it though, you fucking mighty cone. UPK bringing that heat, you know the fire's on. It's One West. Cause I'm a one West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters. I ride for those letters, the squad is forever. One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters. I'll ride for those letters, the squad is forever. It's forever. The squad is forever.
Yeah. Go ahead. Come on, West. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Look, I keep it loyal to the team. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Man, this shit is too easy. I'm on gold, but they don't believe me. You know I'm winning with the team. Screaming Vinny, 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 Beach. Hear them devils screaming out bloody murder. I'm about to close the curtain. I'm on my grind, bitch, and work. Sorry, all them lies, it ain't working. Them niggas weak, cause they be churching. I'm a West nigga, that's for certain. If he cross the line, I'ma back up and I'ma hit his ass with this virus. And I come through 300 strong, 144 Leonidas. All my niggas we eat. I'm in this bitch with the itis. Say, all y'all do the sweet. Dang, y'all do the sweet. The nigga made the wrong move, he make his ass obsolete. He ain't one of us hit the lead. He ain't one of us here preach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Look, I keep it loyal to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat.
You see this look that's on my face, bitch, I'm for real with it. I hit the streets, put on my cleats, was in the field with it. You soft as cotton, just an actor, Uncle Phil with it. And then my target's on the move, but I can still hit it. Hey, I speak true cause it's necessary. Gullah Jack revolutionary. Cold on them like January. Commander General is a visionary. Soul food, no sweets. Your preacher man, he's sweet. Matter of fact, he weak. It's wartime for peace. Think you hard, nigga, you ain't. Fuck with us, nigga, you can't. You smart cars, we pace. We form up in ranks. We body bag this rap shit. All black, no bright shit. Real life, no cap, bitch. Fall on them, that's cap shit.
I keep it loyal to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Go ahead.
One West is to raise, son. That's where I came from. That is my A1s. I'm talking day one. Rest of these niggas out here is just fake, son. Look, you can hate, son. You cannot take, son. I've been in every hood out of my state, son. Out in these streets, I'm steady blazing. Looking to cut a nigga like I'm Jason. I am the one. This is the Matrix. Going so hard that they think I'm an agent. Going so hard that they said I'm a Mason. These are the facts, though. I'm just amazing. There is no other way that I could state them. Iron my spotted, they'll never be vacant. These niggas lazy. They got complacent. They wanna level these fucking Caucasians. How the fuck we gonna rebuild our nation? You niggas feminine, go get some makeup. Sorry, but my love is only for Jacob. We had some hard days, we learned some hard ways. Always always. Just know that I pray that we get it out the dust. Only thing that I trust, knowing that my niggas gon' bust. That's thumbing up the rush, thinking that you won't get touched. Fuck when my brother get crushed, been through too much. Always come through in the clutch. Nigga just do what it does, fuck you thought shit was. Cause nigga it wasn't. Know that I do this a dozen. Always kept it 100. Niggas know I never stunning. And I keep shit running, even on the days when the pain keep coming, or a nigga fucked up and he feel like numbing. Show goes on, I just keep on drumming. My faith, even on the days I wanna break. Saying how much could I take, still kept my faith. Even when these niggas act fake, even when it came like a snake, still kept my faith. Some days I ain't even wanna wake, some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith. Even on the days I wanna break, some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith.
Dark days with no night vision, that's why my heart is a cave and there's ice in it. Don't even trust niggas no more, Lord is my witness. Me and these niggas ain't the same, it's a slight difference. Thought a nigga had my back, now it's a knife in it. But now I'm back at the back like it's the ninth inning. Still got the backpack packed in the back of the camp van, taking any given chance to blaze on the white man. Son of Benjamin, born on the right hand, never losing grip, I understand who I am. Met a man to show me the right path, now I'm rooted in the truth, to rule is my plan. And I can never lose sight like an eye exam. Sharp as iron, I was forged by fireman. In the circle of life, how could I tell you, man? I was undesired, had no one, and then I met these men and it changed how I'm living. Their words was convicting, called that a life sentence. Now I need a witness, but no, I'm not Christian. My faith in these scriptures, man, not no religion, man. It's like Tazab, and I'm with my brother Katazab. Then you niggas too sweet like baklava. Niggas better not make a nigga bring them choppers out. Better pray for your health like the doctors out. Just be faithful, one day you'll be thankful. Wonder why they hateful. Luckily I got angels. I'm so thankful. Yes, I'm so thankful. Used to be ashamed, and even before I changed,
still kept my faith. Even on the days I wanna break, saying how much could I take, still kept my faith. Even when these niggas act fake, even when it came like a snake, still kept my faith. Some days I ain't even wanna wake, some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith. Even on the days I wanna break, some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith.
According to God, the white man is the devil.
You see, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white man. Need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone be. Boy, ask you to stop and ask you to prop. It's about to get serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed it up for parole because of the COVID. It feel like the hoes in this world that don't go together. No it's golden in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settled. Yeah, see the props. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the props. You know, like we all come together. Cause you know, they say God so loved the world. God so loved the world, and no, boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the props. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to promise. One step, I'm solid for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent, I got it, let's go. Let's go. I ain't taking no loss, ain't no token when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just play with your own. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell him we can't keep it slate. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high, got your baby pants through the fire. Ain't she the prophets? That baby so belong to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Devil will failure, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. Push your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. They ain't see to stop it, ain't see the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for, lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop it, ain't she the give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga.
See, y'all think it's just about us in here, but this is about an oppressive, fucked up system designed to keep niggas down and shit. Y'all wouldn't know nothing about that. What about you, little nigga? You know about that?
Yes.
Oh, you know about that? Tell me what you know about that. Tell me what you think about that.
I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you gon' find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. Belly of the beast, we been living in hell. They like, damn Kai, how could you tell? Put us in the project, set us up to fail. Round here, bullets be flying like hell. Too many of my niggas either dead or in jail. Make a nigga work when you locked in a cell. Can't find work when you out on bail, but your homie got the work, so we passed you a scale. Got them birds like the Bible got quail. Niggas selling out cause they mama got bills. Turning to coons like Oprah and Gail. How you sell your soul just to get a little kale? They put you in a dress when you get a record deal. Wanna see a nigga getting high on pills? You can dance on a pole, you can sell that tail, but they never tell a nigga that he can go to Yale. We all created equal, that's white males. All lives matter, not black males. Another mother crying, another coffin got a nail. How many brothers out here got killed? How many of our sisters out here gotta heal? How many more caps gotta get peeled? We beef with each other so quick to pull the steel. George Zimmerman still alive and well. I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you can find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. I turn up when it's real in the field. Feel. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Feel. Light-skinned nigga, you gon' find me in the field. Feel. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. Chill. Yo, chill!
The industrial complex is a system situated at the intersection of government and private interests. It uses prisons as a solution to social, political, and economic problems. It includes human rights violations, the death penalty, slave labor, policing, courts, the media, political prisoners, and the elimination of dissent.
They just want us to die in silence. They just want us to die in silence. I might start me a fucking riot. Slave rebellion, no compliance. They just want us to die in silence. They murder minds like they got a license. I pray for the coronavirus to kill all of these violent tyrants. They prey on us like they poaching lions. World War III's on the horizon. Black and Hispanics form alliance. From the west coast to the islands, this pressure is making diamonds. They've awakened sleeping giants. I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you can find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. I turn up when it's real in the field. Feel. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. But feel.
Nigga, did you just say what I was trying to say, but smarter? I like this little nigga.
One West, 12 tribes, UPK. Yeah. I'm a One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters. I'll ride for those letters. The squad is forever. forever. Ever since a nigga was young, I knew what I wanted. Knew that we could either be hunters or with the hunted. Meaning only choice was the predators or the prey. Shortest man wherever I was, but I didn't play. And I started spitting fire at every stage. Rap gave a little bit of buzz, but it didn't stay. Then I started hustling, getting that bread. I always went broke, making sure that my niggas fed. But then I looked for loyalty, niggas, they wasn't there. The same that I shed blood for, and it wasn't fair. Well, fuck it though, turn they back on a real nigga. It's when I found UPK and I'm still with them. Drill with them, cause I've been in the field with them. Fringed up garments, rocking the shield with them. I never turn traitor, I never let my colors fly. Never get my brother's book. I ain't like that other guy, nothing like them funny groups. They just better get in line. If you in the middle, you confused, you should pick a side. Me, I must stay loyal to the king till the day I die. Am one West, head beating in my chest. Fuck all the rest, we stayed, y'all left. Suckers ran scared, had to clean up y'all mess. That's why we took over, I can see that y'all stressed. We ain't got time to worry about no hater. My life is like a movie, should come with a narrator. They gather data, they wanna see us assimilated. Marching through the streets, know we coming, you hear our cadence. All you smell is Henny and frankincense is the fragrance. Cause I'm a one West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters, I'll ride for those letters. The squad is forever. I'm a one West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters, I'll ride for those letters. My squad is forever. It's forever. Squad is forever. When a nigga in this mode like I get so hyped, shining blinding like a strobe light. I'm my only calm, so I battle me back and forth night. Like a bullfight, I see red charge and destroy might. Gave me foresight, so I know that winning the war might have them all tight. Fuck they feelings, cause they the soft type. I was always taught never turn your back on your brothers. Take on any enemy, know the strength in these numbers. UPK official, and ain't no coward among us. So make me go and bang with them sticks like I'm a drummer. How y'all gonna run with the style that we invented? You always talk the war was wild, but you never in it. All that coulda, shoulda, woulda. I see how you try to spin it. The way my soldiers move out, you think that we got evicted. There's one West in the building, we owning it while you renting. Lyrical exercise in the booth is my Planet Fitness. Words move you like calisthenics. Bars heavy, so when I bench it, I'm building up a hardcore. I flex when I'm finished. And right after a light workout, it's back to business. Group sick of UPK, cause we the illest. I got one question, will they ever stop hating? Waiting on this war so long, I'm salivating. Niggas turn bitch so strong, I call them Caitlyn. I get the green light, let's go, no hesitation. Y'all just been holding our spot like reservations. Now we back to work while you suckers still on vacation. Mixtape singles and even collaborations. They smiling in the face, but I know I see aggravation. You ain't got to hide it though, you fucking mighty cone. UPK bringing that heat, you know the fire's on. It's one West. Cause I'm a one West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters, I'll ride for those letters. The squad is forever. One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters, I'll ride for those letters. The squad is forever. It's forever. The squad is forever.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. Come on, West. Go ahead. Go ahead. Rocking this shit. Yeah. Go ahead. Look, I keep it low to the T. UPK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Go ahead. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. Go ahead. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Man, this shit is too easy. I'm on gold, but they don't believe me. You know I'm winning with the team. Screaming Vinny, 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 VJ. Hear them devils screaming out bloody murder. I'm about to close the curtain. Mama grind, bitch, and work. Sorry, all them lies, it ain't working. Them niggas weak, cause they be churching. I'm a West nigga, that's for certain. If he cross the line, I'ma back up and I'ma hit his ass with this virus. When I come through 300 strong, 144 Leonidas. All my niggas we eat. I'm in this bitch with the itis. Say all y'all do the street. Tell y'all through the street. If a nigga made the wrong move, he make his ass obsolete. He ain't one of us hit the lead. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black gully jack, man, all them niggas go retreat. Go ahead. Look, I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach, nigga. Come through all black gully jack, man, all them niggas go retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man, all them niggas go retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black gully jack, man, all them niggas go retreat.
You see this look that's on my face, bitch, I'm for real with it. I hit the streets, put on my cleats, was in the field with it. You soft as cotton, just an actor, Uncle Phil with it. And then my target's on the move, but I can still hit it. Hey, I speak true cause it's necessary. Gullah Jack revolutionary. Cold on them like January. Commander General is a visionary. Soul food, no sweets. Your preacher man, he's sweet. Matter of fact, he weak. It's wartime for peace. Think you hard, nigga, you ain't. Fuck with us, nigga, you can't. You smart cars, we pace. We form up in ranks. We body bag this rap shit. All black, no bright shit. Real life, no cap, bitch. Fall on them, that's cap shit.
I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach, nigga. Come through all black gully jack, man, all them niggas go retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man, all them niggas go retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black gully jack, man, all them niggas go retreat. Go ahead.
One West is to raise, son, that's where I came from. That is my A1s, I'm talking day one. Rest of these niggas out here is just fake, son. Look, you can hate, son, you cannot take, son. I've been in every hood out of my state, son. Out in these streets, I'm steady blazing. Looking to cut a nigga like I'm Jason. I am the one, this is the Matrix. Going so hard that they think I'm an agent. Going so hard that they said I'm a Mason. These are the facts, though, I'm just amazing. There is no other way that I could state them. Iron my spotted, they'll never be vacant. These niggas lazy, they got complacent. They wanna level these fucking Caucasians. How the fuck we gonna rebuild our nation? You niggas feminine, go get some makeup. Sorry, but my love is only for Jacob. We had some hard days, we learned some hard ways. Always, just know that I pray that we get it out the dust. Only thing that I trust, knowing that my niggas gon' bust. That's thumbing up the rush, thinking that you won't get touched. Fuck when my brother get crushed, been through too much. Always come through in the clutch. Nigga just do what it does, fuck you thought shit was. Cause nigga it wasn't. Know that I do this a dozen. Always kept it 100. Niggas know I never stunning. And I keep shit running, even on the days when the pain keep coming. Or a nigga fucked up and he feel like numbing. Show goes on, I just keep on drumming my fate. Even on the days I wanna break, saying how much could I take, still kept my faith. Even when these niggas act fake, even when it came like a snake, still kept my faith. Some days I ain't even wanna wake, some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith. Even on the days I wanna break, some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith.
Dark days with no night vision, that's why my heart is a cave and there's ice in it. Don't even trust niggas no more, Lord is my witness. Me and these niggas ain't the same, it's a slight difference. Thought a nigga had my back, now it's a knife in it. But now I'm back at the back like it's the ninth inning. Still got the backpack packed in the back of the camp van, taking any given chance to blaze on the white man. Son of Benjamin, born on the right hand, never losing grip, I understand who I am. Met a man to show me the right path, now I'm rooted in the truth, to rule is my plan. And I can never lose sight like a night exam. Sharp as iron, I was forged by fireman. In the circle of life, how could I tire, man? I was undesired, had no one, and then I met these men and it changed how I'm living. Their words was convicting, called that a life sentence. Now I need a witness, but no, I'm not Christian. My faith in these scriptures, man, not no religion, man. It's like Tazab, and I'm with my brother Katazab. Man, you niggas too sweet like baklava. Niggas better not make a nigga bring them choppers out. Better pray for your health like the doctors out. Just be faithful, one day you'll be thankful. Wonder why they hateful. Luckily I got angels. I'm so thankful. Yes, I'm so thankful. Used to be ashamed. And even before I changed,
I still kept my faith. Even on the days I wanna break. Saying how much could I take? Still kept my faith. Even when these niggas act fake. Even when it came like a snake. Still kept my faith. Some days I ain't even wanna wake. Some days that my heart had aches. Still kept my faith. Even on the days I wanna break. Some days that my heart had aches. Still kept my faith.
Shalom Israel, we are live. Clap it up. Clap it up. This thing started. So we're gonna try to do this on Clubhouse also while we got the live class going. So if you do end up joining us on Clubhouse, just keep in mind that this is a class setting. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, you can certainly raise your hand. We'll bring you up to the stage, and we'll see where it's at. But yeah, Shalom Israel. Y'all Bashim Yahshua Baraktham to the brothers. Y'all Shema Latam Bashim Yahshua to the sisters. We are the ISUPK, Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969, 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are led by Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any organization. We are not affiliated with any organizations, and pay your tithes. Keep that in mind too. Pay your tithes. This ain't the time to get cheap about it. All right, so we got the Clubhouse going. We got the classes going. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, I believe. So you can certainly join us in the chat. Shalom to the sister, Barakapah Yashakar. Shalom to Adawan, Maccabia. Shalom to the trooper, Kawan. Shout out to Adawan Kodai Zayan, man. Give him a hand. Give him this river hand. Kodai Zayan just had another dog. It's had another baby, man. It's a beautiful thing. We got a lot of babies are coming out. A lot of babies are coming out. For water to Captain Kazariak's oils and body butters. I'm sure that has something to do with it. So we are going to get into this topic: brotherhood versus gentrification. Everybody wants to try to make room, try to make an allowance for everybody else to come in here. And it's just not meant for that. I'm gonna try to pull up this other scripture real quick. These records, and everybody will agree that the records that are contained in this Bible, in this book, is it was only for Israel. It was only ever given to Israel. It was only about Israel. It has our involvement with other nations, just as far as some of the dealings and interactions and run-ins that we've had with them. It never sanctioned or condoned interracial marriages. What's the word I'm looking for? Exchanging of customs, because that's what got us in trouble in the first place. That is what ended up gentrifying us. So we're gonna get a few. I always like to start off with it's like, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second to pull this up. There we go. All right. Start off in Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1, and we read out of the King James Version Bible. You can get the authorized King James that has the Apocrypha separate, or you can get the King James 1611 that has the Apocrypha included. Zephaniah 2:1. Gather yourselves together. Ye gather together, O nation not desired. Now again, this was a direction given to Israel, not to everybody. This is only a this wasn't a exchange of ideas. Let's build a council. A table. A United Nations. This is not what that was. Gathered together, O nation that desire, because everybody loves everybody else. Everybody's got respect for everybody else's culture, and they let them keep that separate. They might try to follow it, but they know that that's separate. That's you see Edomites and blacks and Hispanics running around with karate gis on or kimonos and emulating Asian culture. They still know it's an Asian culture. They know that this is not for them, and they understand and respect the fact that that needs to be kept separate, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now this Bible, these records, it's the same thing. They are to be kept separate. They were not supposed to be shared with everybody. Some of the verses that people try to bring out, John 3:16s and mixed multitudes and light unto the Gentiles. Though it's not what they think, and because of gentrification, because they had infiltrated into our culture, is why we got all this confusion. And when I say they, I'm talking about just other nations in general, nobody specifically, because they all had a hand to play in us losing our grip on this. So, for example, when they go to John 3:16, let's pull that up real quick. They love John 3:16. Why did that not show up? Everybody love John 3:16. They forget about some of the other scriptures that are in this book though. But they never gloss over this one because it's got to be so profound, and it feels good. It feels good. Okay, because God is all love, and you can't have hatred in your heart, and all these other excuses that just people want. They this is their security blanket. This is what they want to tell themselves to feel good about everybody just getting along. When these records, when it's recorded in our records and our manuscripts that we were separated from everybody and that we were to remain separated from everybody for a really good reason. So now we're going to talk about this. So John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Now this isn't going to be the full John 3:16 breakdown. We do have a lot of other classes you can definitely check into older videos to get like the full understanding of this. But if you were to pair that up with Isaiah chapter 45:17, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confound the world without end. Again, it's that same word world that people like to just slap everybody together with. But here the context is very clearly different. And if you look at the definition of the word world, it's not inclusive of everybody, the entire planet. It's got a specific context that should not be ignored. Just a lot of people do. And it's very irresponsible to let your guard down about this, to not be selfish about this, to try to share this with everybody. Everybody's gonna come up under the law. Everybody's gonna end up having to follow this. This is something that is going to take place. Everybody will be subjected to the Lord God of Israel. Everybody. And his king, Yahushua. and the hierarchy of Israel and all the other nations going back down. That 144,000 that's going to rule with Yahushua, it's not going to be a conglomeration of all these different races and breeds and mixes of people. It's only going to be from Israel. If you look at the 144,000, it gives you 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes of Israel, not from the 18 nations that came up out of the flood. Like I said, it's a dangerous thing to not safeguard this and to try to share this with everybody else. So we're also going to get Deuteronomy chapter 7, verses 3 and 4, because this is where a lot of the damage starts coming in over something that people they think it's innocent enough. You can't help who you love. Yeah, you can. And marriages isn't always about love. If now that certainly helps. I think that'll make everybody's day go a lot easier too. If you love that person, if you like that person, but it's not a prerequisite is not to be in love with that individual. But we try to use this as an excuse to just join everybody together and recreate Babylon. And if you look at it too, in America, that's essentially what they're trying to do, not just recreate Babylon, but Babylon's intentions to overthrow God. They're trying to phase out the Most High. They're trying to phase out these laws, these cultures, so that you can do or you can be anything and anybody, and you should just be accepted as that. You should just be accepted. You should have an open heart, open ear for everything and everybody, and just everybody should just learn to get along. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt thou not slack. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Again, a very, very clear directive. Now, if you were to go up a few verses, start at like 7 and 1, maybe we can do that too. Let's open the full chapter. It's gonna list off a bunch of different nations. So let's just start there. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hast cast out many nations before thee, and then he starts listing a bunch of them: the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou, were pushed out from this land that was given to us to inhabit. Verse 2, and when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before us, like I skipped a couple kind of non-consequential words, but the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou, just for biblical integrity. Verse 2, and when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them. It didn't say join hand in hand with them. It didn't say, give them a pass. It didn't say just hear them out. It didn't say just, let's work through this together. It say you're gonna smite them. You're gonna smite them. You're gonna go to war with them. You're gonna kill them. You're gonna beat them in battle, not in a debate, and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Now you might want to say in verse 1, well, it didn't list this nation or this nation or this nation or this nation. So we can join them because it didn't list them here in this Bible. A lot of people are so hell bent on, and I don't disagree with the fact that certain words need to be in there to give the proper understanding of what the scripture's talking about. But if you understand the culture of Israel and the spirit behind these laws, you will understand that you could have inserted any nation in there, any nation that was not Israel. the Amorites, these were pretty much all Hamitic tribes too. You get the Canaanites, the Amorites. These are pretty much all so-called African progenitors, tribal progenitors, I should say. So you might want to say, hey, this, we're just banging against Ham in this. They were just the ones that were there in that time. Anybody else could have been there in that time, and they would have had to get pushed out. Anybody. And we ain't to make a covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them, especially when it comes down to battle, when it comes down to war. When did they ever treat us with mercy? I think Japheth, the only son of Noah that we didn't really have any crazy, extra kind of dealings with. But they're gonna fall in order also. Everybody that came out of Japheth, they're gonna fall in line also. It's not that big a deal, and there's nothing wrong with this. When the world is put back into its right place, you're gonna stop complaining when ain't no more homeless people. You're gonna stop complaining when ain't nobody ODing off of drugs no more, and those emergency rooms ain't filled with gunshot and stab wound victims. You're gonna stop complaining when everything gets switched over, when the authority on this earth gets put back into its rightful hands. You're going to stop complaining about it then. You're going to shut up and you're going to do what you told then. Let's not wait till it has to get to that point, though. Let's set this thing up now. Let's get this party going now, so that when the Lord does crack that sky open and send Yahweh shot back, the stage will be set. Well, we're going to be ready for the next act. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to have this ball rolling. Verse 3, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. So now this is where it starts getting into. So we're going to cast them out. They're going to get cast out from our land that we are meant to inhabit. We ain't supposed to make no covenants with them. We're going to beat them in battle. Show no mercy. Don't sit there and cry over spilt milk. They'll be back. Regeneration is a real thing. Or as they would say, reincarnation. That's a real thing. They'll get born back. They'll get brought back. Just if you're going to stand in the face of the Lord, if you're going to stand in the way of the Most High, maybe it's just best to reset. That might be the safer option for everybody who's going to be in contention with this law, any law. And that was kind of a broad context. But verse 3. So now we get into that very famous passage. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt thou not give unto his son. Neither nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. That veil of love that gets thrown over people's eyes, it can be very blinding and misleading. So when you talk about, you can't help who you love and how you just try to bring everybody into the fold. Again, it's very damaging and dangerous to do to people. Verse 4, for they will turn away thy son from following me, the Most High, that they may serve other gods. So now if you give them your daughters, they're going to be subject to their sons and their custom, their culture. Now, if we were to interracially marry, we were not supposed to give up our culture. We were not to do anything that was going to break our laws. But you got that woman up under that man, chances are she can end up doing what he tell her to do. He want her to serve this guy, she going to end up serving that guy. Now, same thing. Because that man doesn't want to be, harsh or inconsiderate to his wife, he's going to get soft. And he's going to want to make some negotiation with her and her family or her customs, so that she can feel, included, that she can feel that she's a part of his world. Which is why it's very important for us to just deal with each other. That way, ain't nobody got to get skipped, ain't nobody got to get cut out, and we can go to the high holy days together. Wouldn't be I don't want to say cultural appropriation, when we're wearing our garments, our style of clothing, things like that. And you ain't gotta have them arguments over food too. And I'm not just saying, black and black and brown, and lack of a better term, red and red, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. All of our tribes, how we already get along, and it's crazy because there's a lot of animosity and competition between each other, but we kick it together like nobody's business. You put us in a room together, man, we vibe and we listen to the same music, we enjoying the same food. Just we end up going back to different neighborhoods at the end of the day. But saying here again, for they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. This is a large part in how gentrification happens with interracial marriages. Something a little bigger than that. Actually, we're going to keep going with this. In verse 5, but thus shall ye deal with them. So we're not to make marriages with them. I didn't finish verse 4, my fault. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. This is what I'm saying. It's a dangerous thing to try to bridge that gap and try to make these records and this culture all inclusive for everybody to enjoy. This ain't for everybody to have a good time. This is for the embetterment of mankind that Israel needs to survive. The Israel culture and heritage and lineage not be tampered with, not be stepped on. Just get up out the way, move up out the way, and just let us do our thing. And for all the brothers and sisters that got maybe a weak eye, just listen, man. Get in the class. Be around your people. And I'm not just saying again for you just to be around blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, because a lot of us are doing damnable things also. You want to be around brothers and sisters that are going to have the same integrity that you would want to keep. If you're not there yet in life, no sweat. We'll help you get there. We'll help you achieve that goal. It starts with coming in class. It starts with gathering together at the very least. Coming into class, checking it out. Even if you're going to kick it with us on Clubhouse for a little bit. Even if you're going to just join us on YouTube or on some of the social media platforms. At least hear it out. It's worth the conversation, at the very least. Now, verse 5. Because the Lord is going to destroy you. The Lord is going to destroy you. You keep on playing these games. You keep on trying to make marriages with them and bring everybody in. And the Lord is going to be angry with you. And he will end up destroying you. Verse 5. But thus shall ye deal with them. You shall destroy their altars and break down their images and cut down their groves and burn their grave images with fire. So again, we talking about destroying their culture from out of our midst. This wasn't meant to say, all right, go to all four corners of the earth and burn everybody's temple down. The Lord is going to destroy all this anyway. The Lord is going to put this to waste. But in this land that we were to go possess, we were not to make marriages with them. We were to go to battle with them because they weren't about to give that land up for free. You know what I'm saying? They weren't about to just give it up, say, here you go. The same way America's not going to either. You think America is going to want to give up their seat of power? When they built the kingdom off of bloodshed, when they built the kingdom off of exploitation and drug deals and human trafficking, you think these men that are in power and their women too, you think they're just going to want to give it up? That they're just going to politely hand it over? No, they're going to try to fight. That's why they got a Space Force X. That's why they got a military Space Force. That's not just to do battle. Like the way I heard it broke down by I can't remember the channel. But they were saying the necessity of it is a safer approach to war. Battling each other in space, so that we ain't blowing up our own cities and millions of people ain't gotta die. The military ordinances and the military troops or machines, whatever, that they'd be out that way where the battle is happening, and innocent people ain't got to lose their life. And for global control, so whoever ends up, whoever ruled the sea at one point, whoever had the largest navy, pretty much ran the world. They controlled everything, all the commerce, and everybody had to answer to them. They were still allowed to keep their culture, though. Everybody else, they're trying to destroy ours, but they let everybody else live. And then once you control the air, now everybody ruled the world again. So now you control, because when you control the air, you can pretty much, you can damn near control the what's going on in the water too. You got the tactical advantage. So now if you can control, the globe, if you can control the firmament, yeah, I'll put it like that. If you can control the firmament, then the earth is yours. You ain't got nobody else to contend with. Can't nobody beat you now. Now you got supreme tactical control, and you can do whatever you want at any given moment. So, but this was a specific instance. That land that we were going to possess, to live, that was not going to be given up. We were to go and kick them out, to utterly destroy them in battle, and not make marriages with them, make no covenants with them. That's how King Saul fell. If y'all remember that story, he was told, "Listen, man, do not forget these devils. Do not forget these the Amalekites. And when you go to war with them, when you beat them, because I'm with you, when you beat them, kill everything. Don't leave nothing standing, nothing standing." And what did King Saul do? He took that king. He listened also to his men, who were trying to make kind of a negotiate. Like, listen, man, how you know how much money we can get for the king? He's the king. We can get a lot of money for that. So let's keep him alive. Let's ransom him off. And King Saul did, and that's what got him destroyed. And it's not because somebody cheated in a card game. He didn't. I can't remember the name of the Amalekite king, but he didn't step on King Saul's Jordans. And it wasn't a little issue that this was done over. That King Saul was supposed to remember. King Saul was supposed to remember what happened here, and he didn't. And he showed mercy. He made a covenant with that devil. They attacked us when we were coming up out of Egypt, passing through the different lands. They attacked us. They attacked our women, our children, our weak, disabled, injured, our elderly. They attacked us. They flanked us. Well, I can't even say flanked us. They ambushed us. They ambushed us from the weak side. While the army and the men, the bulk of it was out front leading the way, they attacked us from the back. King Saul was supposed to remember that. We are supposed to remember what happened on Black Wall Street in Rosewood, Florida. And I keep on forgetting the name of in Michigan. Salaki to the men, but I keep on forgetting the name of the city in Michigan where we had again a thriving community that got bombarded over. It was another lie, I believe. And everybody knew that Rosewood was the people that went to go burn Rosewood down. They knew that it was garbage. They just needed a reason. They didn't care what the reason was. They just needed a reason. If a dog could talk and say, "Hey, dude threw a stone at me," they would have went to battle for that dog. They would have Son of Sam the hell out of Rosewood if that were the case. They just needed a reason. That's all that was. We're supposed to remember this. And I know they want to take a lot of things out of public schools, the curriculums, the history books in general, that may make mention of these atrocities, these crimes, these acts of war that were done. But if we don't remember this, if we forget this, we're going to make that same mistake that Saul did. We're going to end up making marriages with their people. We're going to make covenants with their people. We're going to make negotiations with their people. so that we can all drink out of the same bubbler and sit on the same toilet. We're going to give up our culture so that we can eat the same dish, the same food, in the same space. We want to give up our culture so that we can eat food in the same space as them. That we can get served their food in their building. We can pay them for their bland ass food in their building to make money for them and their children. We're gonna give up our culture, and we're not gonna go to one of our spots where their food is just meant for us. That food is delicious to them. That's fine. That's fine. If all you want is mayonnaise and a little salt and pepper, that's perfectly all right for y'all. We've got ours over here, and even if you like that food too, no sweat. It's okay to take a recipe. That part is just food. It's not giving up to idol, to a graven image. It's not not being served on no second-rate pagan holiday. It's just mashed potatoes. That's not the issue that we're talking about. But if you don't safeguard these records, man, if you get soft and you get weak and you just let everybody else slide away with it, you're leaving it open for other people's interpretations too. Because now, you got all these different versions of the Bible that are thought for thought translations, not word for word, based off the etymology of the ancient words that we use. It's like for ancient words, they are, but for the original words that we use in the different languages, with the intended context and definition of those words when it was being used. Like you get the word like. Like could mean damn near anything under the sun, depending on how you express it. When these words were used with intention for a very specific purpose and left unguarded, the translations got changed up, the definitions got changed up, things got added to it, things got subtracted from it. There was a different viewpoint that got inserted because it's like, well, hey, maybe it could be like this. We do it like this, and they're using a similar concept, so let's just apply ours to it in place of theirs, and won't nobody notice. Like they actually did things like that during the Renaissance era. We're gonna get into some of that too. But let's keep going with this. Cut down their groves, burn their graven images with fire. Verse 6. For this is why we're supposed to do this. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. That's why we were supposed to utterly destroy them, burn everything down, kick out all their graven images, destroy all their altars, make no marriages with them, because we are an holy people. And that word holy means separate. I forgot to ask this to the brothers who was saying that last night, this morning in the clubhouse room, because they some heathen was speaking, and some brother was talking about how profound that was, and how like he really kind of respected her opinion and the words that she was sharing with us. That it was trash. It was trash. It was garbage. It was them gentrifying our records and applying it to them, used to be the authority over us. So now we abiding by our laws under them. Listen to that real quick, man. They stole our records and our custom and our culture, our book of laws, and the records of our people, of our history, and used it to rule over us, and now we serve under that. We didn't want to serve it before, apparently, because we wanted to make marriages, we wanted to make covenants. We wanted that gentrification. We wanted integration. We allowed gentrification to happen because of this. You had a lot of people that put down their swords, and that's how gentrification became a thing. You had men that did not defend home. And a lot of that is going to be a result of disobeying these laws, statutes, and commandments. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. That's how we're supposed to live. That's the motivation. That's the influence we should be giving our children. That's the lessons that we should be teaching. The next generation, that when they come up strong. And they ain't ever got to know about some of the things that we had to go through to get even to this point. Even in 2022, from 1969, from 1876, from 1792, the road that we had to travel to get here. Maybe let's just stick to our guns and spare them the headache and fight this battle the way the Maccabees was trying to get it in. If you go to in the Apocrypha, First Maccabees chapter 2, I'm going to start at I think 31. There's a lot to be learned from the Apocrypha. If you don't have the 1611, the King James 1611, so you can get it like this. I don't know if that's clear. That might be backwards. But the King James 1611 edition, if you can get that, or you can get the same one. So back here, we got a lot of books over here. The King James Holy Bible that would not have the Apocrypha included, but then you can order this. I think these right now are like $20, on about $15, $20 online. The 1611, I think that might be around 30, 40. Been a while since I had to order one, but something to look into. There's a lot to be learned in again in these records in this history book that would save us a lot of headache, a lot of time, a lot of sorrow, a lot of confusion. Just a lot of mothers are just kind of conflicted with their emotions and what's under old girl's skirt. A lot of times that's just kind of what it comes down to. And what advantages they can get over there that they're not seeing over here because they're not held up in the same regard over here as they would be a whole new person over there, and they can be somebody's token black friend. So now they're going to get treated with more gifts and ass kissings, I guess. I don't know exactly what they anticipate or what their ambition is, but we deserve more than that. We deserve more than that. So now, when they had started moving in, right out here in we were just talking about this during camp. Over South Minneapolis, I believe. Can't remember the name of the neighborhood. Not Maxwell. Raymond. Salaki to the men above me. I can't remember the name of the neighborhood, but they had put a highway through a predominantly black neighborhood, destroyed that entire neighborhood, completely made them shift over, destroyed that entire neighborhood, man. They have businesses and families and houses. I mean, completely, utterly destroyed so that you can drive your car through that spot. For whatever reason, that had to be the spot for the developers of the highway system. I can only imagine. I don't want to philosophize too much about it, but I think we all kind of got an idea on what conversations took place for something like that to happen. So now, when you got people that ain't gonna stick to their guns and ain't gonna defend home, and are too immersed and involved in the politics and interests of our oppressors and their subsidiaries, we get thrown under the bus. We do not win in those arenas. Those arenas were certainly not meant for us to participate in, especially with any equal expectations. Certainly was not meant to be equal playing ground. It was not meant for our inclusion. And damn it, there's nothing wrong with that either. Let them have that. Let them have their senators and their aldermen and their congressmen and their mayors and governors and all that. Let them have that. We need to focus on our problems. We can put a stop to drugs in our communities. We can, to gun violence, to black on black crime, brown on brown crime, black on brown crime. We can put a stop to that. There's a concerted effort, though, by our captors, our oppressors, that would be in their best interest to not let that happen, because that's how they built their kingdom, off of murder. Now we're just doing the job for them, and they're just reaping all the benefits. They're keeping their hospitals open and their ER rooms open because we're killing each other and selling each other drugs. Ain't nobody really going into the ER department for diabetes. Accidents do happen. Slip and fall. Ezel, yeah, slip and fall in the store, his neck and his back. Things like that happen. But at large, and we're talking like across the board, they got rooms like that open because of the violence in our neighborhoods. We can get rid of Planned Parenthood. We can make it so that they aren't, so that the sisters and the brothers and the sisters don't feel that that's the last resort to kill your baby. We can make it so that we got a better quality of life. We can put money and jobs back into each other's hands. We did it many times before. We damn sure can do it again. But we were only ever successful in that venture when we followed our culture, when we followed our law, statutes, and commandments. When we acted as a separate people, as a holy people from everybody else. So now if you go into Maccabees chapter 2, verse 31, I think. I mean, really, I want to start all the way at the top, but there's a couple more I want to bring out too. But starting at 31. Now, when it was told the king's servants and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David, that certain men who had broken the king's commandment were gone down into the secret places in the wilderness. Verse 32, they pursued after them a great number, and having overtaken them, they camped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day. I want to make sure I didn't skip that part. They said it's like I think I did skip over a portion of it. Just to kind of go over it real quick. There was an incident where we were under the Greco-Roman rule at this time, and we were not allowed to celebrate our, what was it? Salakia, give me one second. And we're just going to bring it from the top, actually. First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 1. In those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Jorib from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modim. And he had 5 sons: Jonan, called Caddis, Simon, called Thesai, Judas, who was called Maccabeus, Eleazar, called Avalon, and Jonathan, whose surname was Apphus. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, verse 7, he said, woe is me. Wherefore was I born to see this misery in my people? This is what we're trying to stop. This is what the UPK's entire intention is, basically. To save our people from having to deal and having to witness, having to be burdened by the plagues of our forefathers. They're in this condition. They're in captivity right under the Greco-Roman rulership. They're in this captivity right now because our forefathers broke the covenant with the Most High. We lost our rulership. We lost our power, our seat of authority. And the same thing that the brothers witnessing back then, we're seeing it today too. Born into a world where, you know, our children on drugs. Children on drugs. Our children are murderers. Our children are exposed to everything abominable under the sun, man. That goes directly against our culture and our rules and regulations. So now he's witnessing the same thing, to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers. Verse 8, her temple has become a man without glory. Verse 9, her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men in the sword of the enemy. Her young men with the sword of the enemy. Again, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that we were getting plagued with and everything that was happening to us back then, it's happening to us today. The same set of circumstances for the same reasons, because we broke our covenant with our power. To get this back, to heal all the wounds that we've suffered, to heal all the broken bones, all the cuts and scrapes, all the bloodshed, all the internal scars. We need to come back to our records. Learn from these mistakes so that we can move forward together as a people without inclusion of everybody else. Otherwise, they're just going to keep on gentrifying us. We need brotherhood to stop this from happening so we can galvanize together. And I mean, if we were to move to Mars, completely separated from them, they would try to find some reason to build a highway through our neighborhood in Mars. They don't need much of a reason. They never had before. Just, you know, something that'll look good on paper. But if we stick together, we rebuild this nation, they won't be able to. We keep these laws, like the scriptures say too, we keep this law, I'm paraphrasing, but we keep these laws, even our enemies will be at peace with you. It's like if our ways please the Most High, even our enemies will be at peace with you. If we bring this back home and we abide by it, it ain't gonna matter what else they doing. I ain't gonna care about their Christian churches, their Catholic churches, so long as we are out of their Christian churches and their Catholic churches and their Muslim mosques and their Scientology temples. I don't even know if they got temples or schools or whatever. So long as we get out of their schools of thought, I don't care what else they do. They can have whatever record, whatever version of the Bible that they want, so long as we embody this again. That's, you know, these should be the goals that we are looking at as a people. But nobody really wants that. Salaki, to scroll down. King was giving them an order. All right, so it's like verse 11. All her ornaments are taken away. Of a free woman, she has become a bond slave. And behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory, is laid waste, and the Gentiles have profaned it. So again, this is what's going to happen when they gentrify Israel, when they gentrify the Bible. They're going to profane it. They're going to, all of our high holy days, man, all of our you know, our menorahs, our shield of David, our you know, family crest that we used to have. Everything gets whitewashed. Everything gets taken over, gets spun anew, and now we are left, you know, smoking dope in the alley, or shooting up, or snorting something, sleeping with whatever, drinking yourself into oblivion, and not protecting your people, not being at home, safeguarding your women and your children. And the enemy just creeps right in, and they profane everything that's beautiful about us, our temple, our vessels, our young men being killed with the sword, man. What nation had, it's like verse 10, what nation hath not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? That's gentrification right there. They are gentrifying our culture, not just our neighborhoods. They gentrifying our culture. Who hasn't put their hands on us? It's like, who hasn't spoiled us? Who hasn't stolen from us? Damn, I keep on getting it backwards. If it was either China or Japan, they've got a whole Chicano subculture. From the khaki shorts and the high socks to the bald heads and the sunglasses and the tattoos, the whole lowrider scene. They took our cars, they took our art, everything. The graffiti looking just like ours. They got a whole Chicano subculture down there. And we just supposed to be cool with that, I guess. Listen, if we get us out of that, out of their churches, out of their mosques, out of their temples, out of their synagogues, I don't care what else they do. I just want us to come back together. The Lord wants us to come back together because we are a holy people. We're supposed to gather together, being that nation not desired. Because everybody, man, you cannot name me one nation that had not a part in our kingdom and gotten of our spoils. Everybody dipped their fingers in. Everybody dirty. Ain't nobody innocent. Y'all want to love the Samoans. I ain't got no problem with who was it? What's in The Rock? Yeah, I think he's Samoan. No, I think he's a brother actually. It's like I'm gonna take him out of it. You just see him in the movies a lot of times playing one of them Samoan characters. I ain't got no beef with Hawaii. Ain't got no problem with them. Their ancestors ain't innocent though. Let's just be very clear about this. Everybody's trying to take a piece of us, whether it's our culture and not give it back, our culture and not give us the respect, our culture and not try to. They weren't trying to defend it for us. They were trying to defend it so that everybody else can have a sample. That's the only reason why they're trying to leave it on the board so that everybody else can take a sound bite. They can get a clip of it. That's what we gotta stop. That's what we're working to achieve here. Unification. Everybody wants brotherhood. Everybody talking about peace and love. I want peace and love too for Israel, so that we can take over the world and we can bring peace and love back to the earth. I want peace and love too. The Bible wants peace. God wants peace and love on earth and goodwill towards men. But there's a process that we have to go through first to achieve that. There's somebody who's sitting on high in a seat of power who ain't trying to let that go. Who is not about peace and love. They are about war. They are about blood. They are about their lust. They have to be removed. They have to be removed. Otherwise, you will never see the end of crystal meth and flocka. I don't know the last time somebody got recorded snorting bath salts or smoking bath salts, but that will never stop. If these devils that are in authority right now do not get removed from that seat of authority, from that power, we need to come back to ours so that the Lord sees that his people are trying, that his people do want to, we want to be forgiven. If you were with us last week, we were talking about the kingdom. Matthew chapter 3, verse 2, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So we need to repent. It's like I'm paraphrasing. We need to repent. He needs to see his people repenting and breathing life back into this. If he's going to find anything worth saving. Otherwise, there's no point in us being saved. There's no point in him lifting a finger on our behalf. If we're not sorry for what we've done, if we're not trying to come back home, you're just going to let gentrification exist. And we're going to have brothers that are going to put down their sword, join their cause, because they want a Starbucks right next to them. Because they want that project building to get knocked down, renovated, rent to go up to $2,000 a month, and no job for a brother in that neighborhood, no business for him to be over there anyway. except for maybe taking out your garbage and scrubbing your floors and cleaning your dishes. Other than that, we ain't got no business in their neighborhoods once they moved in. There was some brothers here in the Maccabees times that pretty much did just that. Verse 12, and behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory is laid waste, and the Gentiles have profaned it. 13, to what end therefore shall we live any longer? What's going to be the point of it? What's the use of having these records anymore? They already whitewashed Yahushua, and we got that recorded in the Renaissance era. There's a book. I don't think we got the physical copy here, but the Russian icons. It shows how they are literally taking the images, the original images of Yahushua, of the disciples, and how they turned them from dark-skinned individuals to light-skinned individuals, and not in the same way that like Sammy Sosa and what's in a Foxy Brown kind of did themselves, and Michael Jackson, great example, bleaching their skin to oblivion. They were still black underneath that. They were still Israelites. They changed the entire race of these people. They changed the race of James and John and Peter and Christ. They changed their race. Not just the color of their skin, they changed their whole race. They changed their entire culture so that everybody else can feel included. Verse 14, then Mattathias and his sons rent their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourn very sore. 15, in the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city of Modim to make them sacrifice. Verse 16, and when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias also and his sons came together. Then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias on this wise, thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren. Verse 18, now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment. They were pork was like the big sacrifice that they wanted on all of our altars. There's a very spiritual discourse with that too. The reason why they, pig was the thing, and it wasn't a dog, it wasn't a rat, it was a pig. So these officers came to this brother who was well respected, well renowned in his Israelite community. Thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren. Verse 18, now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judah also, and as such as remain at Jerusalem, so thou shalt, so shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards. If you just make this sacrifice, you'll be one of the king's buddies. You guys can go golfing together. You'll be really cool. Everybody will think that you're really cool because everybody else is doing it, and you a highly respected man in your neighborhood. So if you do this, listen, man, the king is gonna hook you up. You're gonna get paid, man. Listen, we'll take care of you financially, and you and the king can be boys. You and the king can be boys because you're gonna take up his custom. You're gonna practice his tradition by making this sacrifice. Verse 19. Then Mattathias answered and spoke with a loud voice. That whole cry aloud and spare not thing that you hear a lot of Israelite or a lot of UPK saying. I can't even say Israelite camps because they don't. Bible clubs, man. That's Sunday school. And that's out of love for them brothers too, man. Everybody need to come back home. We need to band together under one umbrella. It could have been insert any name. It could have been insert any name. It just so happened to have stayed here. That's why it needs to continue to stay here. You can't take this with you. This ain't a Happy Meal from a McDonald's drive-thru. You can't just take what you like, discard the rest of it, and then take this on down the road. It's got to stay in one spot, man. The Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's domain obey him and fall away, every one from the religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandments. Verse 20. Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. He keeping his culture alive. And he's promoting and motivating his brethren, his children, to do the same. As you can, I'm sure, imagine, that did not go over too well. Verse 21. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. The law and the ordinances. That whole law about don't eat pork, they stood on that. The whole law about don't make marriages with these other people, they stood on that. But those are the laws and ordinances that he was talking about. Traditions, customs, our custom, our culture that he was keeping alive and not turning his back on, so that his people can be gentrified. Verse 22, we will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left. Now, there you got a lot of Christians too that'll try to make the argument for the point of you got to keep the law of the land. So in this time, and I believe this was taking place. Well, all right. So they said in the city of Modin. The ordinance was to make this sacrifice because that's what the king commanded. The king set the rules. He gave him a commandment. He gave him an order to go make the sacrifice. That's what they were supposed to do. Everybody else was doing it. So that's what they were supposed to do. But we also have a law, and it's like I did not have this one in the chamber. But we got laws protecting our laws, stating that we cannot break God's law just to serve their laws. So now in America, if they said murder is lawful, or that it's you're supposed to be doing it, we got laws saying thou shalt not murder. The word is kill, the context is murder. We are not to commit that crime because it will be breaking our laws. We ain't supposed to be eating that pig, committing adultery, being thieves and robbers and drug dealers, because that's breaking our laws. No matter how legal it might be, or no matter what order you get from whatever authoritative figure, we are not to break our laws and our ordinances. That's what these brothers stood on. While everybody else was hearkening to the king's words and going from their religion, verse 22, we will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left. Listen, we ain't gonna celebrate birthdays, and we ain't gonna eat pig. We're not gonna worship this God, and we're not gonna commit fornication. Verse 23. Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar which was at Modin, according to the king's commandments. So now you got some sellout Uncle Tom right here in these records. The same thing that we got going on today. Your Creflo Dollars, TD Jakes, your Farrakhan. Farrakhan actually, though, that came out recently. He's he Edomite. He Edomite. Before I speak definitively on it, I'll wait for them to bring out the rest of the facts about it. But from my understanding, Farrakhan Edomite. His father was like some hippie or something. Something. I don't know all the facts that matter, so I ain't gonna go too far on that. But you got a lot of sellouts today, the same way they had sellouts back then. What was his name? Squanto. Squanto was a sellout, man. He was an Uncle Tom too. He was willing to make that sacrifice so that he can be, buddy with these devils. So now he made the sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment. 24. Which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled, neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him on the altar. He was so overcome with anger and disgust, and offended for what this man had done. He killed him right there. He put him to death right then and there. I don't wish no death on no brother, on no sister. The Lord let that happen. there's a lot of people that that ain't with us anymore because they made decisions against the Most High. Lord be with them and their families. That's what we're trying to stop. So that brothers ain't got to go to another city. Now, I don't know all the details of the facts of this story too, but that brother, what's his name, PNB Rock. So that ain't got to happen to any more of our children, any more of our brothers. But this man, chose to go against the Lord, and he ended up getting killed. Whether the Lord sent him or sanctioned him to do that, he ended up getting killed. He ended up dying. If the Lord was with him for making that sacrifice of that pig, or even if the king's God was with him for making that sacrifice of that pig, somebody should have saved him. The man still died. It's 25. Also, the king's commissioner, who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down. Verse 26. Thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like as Phinehas and unto Zambri, the son of Solomon. So I mean, he chose violence over sacrificing against his God. He chose to defend the culture, defend the faith, and make an example out of that brother who made that offense and that devil who had forced that on the people to make it as a requirement, as an order to do. And then he destroyed that altar. Same way we were supposed to destroy the altar, when we moved into to that land too. That we were reading back in Deuteronomy. Verse 27, and Matthias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. So any like-minded brothers and sisters, any families that want to be strong, that want to hold their ground, listen, come with me, come follow me. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that they had in the city. So all the little trinkets that they bring, the Xbox 5. Maybe they just brought one car instead of the 2 or 3 that they may have had, or horses maybe back then or something. But anything incidental they did not bring. They brought the necessities. They brought what they needed for their people to survive out there, and they took to the road. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that they had in the city. Verse 29. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there. Justice and judgment is what we should be asking for Tulsa, Oklahoma, for what they did to that neighborhood over South Minneapolis for a highway, for what they're doing with every holiday in advertised in our schools, in our communities, on TV for every devil that's gonna say Merry Christmas or Happy Halloween this year, Happy Thanksgiving. We want justice and judgment for this. What they did to Harlem. Harlem used to be a black city, and then they gentrified it, and then they moved all the black businesses out, and they had renovated all the apartments. They didn't want to renovate it while the niggas and the Spicks were living there, but Esau wanted to move in there. Their grandkids wanted to move in there, so they cleaned everything up, renovated everything, hiked up the rent because they can afford it because they get the best jobs anyway. So, we want justice and judgment for that. So this is basically what happened. So they run into the wilderness. They run out of the city. They go to separate themselves. No, that shouldn't have been a problem for the king. They left, no sweat, no problem. There were other men who had it's like, we'll just keep reading. Verse 30, both they and their children and their wives and their cattle, because afflictions increased sore upon them. So they brought, again, the necessities. They brought their cattle, their livestock and whatnot, so that they can they can stay fed. They ain't gotta, kind of sneak back into the city, go steal something. They can still go hunting and fishing and trapping and whatnot, and gathering, but they brought their livestock. Now, when it was told, verse 31, now when it was told the king's servants and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David that certain men who had broken the king's commandment were going down to the secret place in the wilderness, they pursued after them a great number, and having overtaken them, they camped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day. Again, this is another point of contention where a lot of people just get soft. They get soft about what they feel is in the Bible based off of the authority of our oppressors who try to redefine the Bible unto us. And because of captivity, because of slavery, and the brainwashing and the whitewashing of our history and our records, it weakened the men. It weakened the men. Verse 39, verse 33. And they said unto them, let that which ye have done hitherto suffice. Come forth and do according to the commandment of the king, and ye shall live. But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day. So then they gave them the battle with all speed. Howbeit they answered him not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped the places where they lay hid, but said, let us die all in our innocency. Heaven and earth shall testify us that ye put us to death wrongfully. So now they were wrong for getting put to death, period, for not wanting to make these sacrifices for this pagan king, for this heathen king. They're wrong for that. But these men, they laid down and died because it was the Sabbath. And you know, just like brothers will say today, well, I remember me and a ranked officer in Chicago. We was after the Sabbath service. We got some pizza. We got some pizza, and some weirdos wearing purple had stopped us when we were coming out the pizza joint and tried shaming us for eating a hot meal on the Sabbath. Now, we're not even the ones that, you know, fired up the oven. We didn't have to make any dough. We didn't cut up the ingredients. You know, we made a phone call. They cooked it. We picked it up. It's not that big of a deal. And if to be, how would I say this? Again, when the authority gets overthrown here, and everybody is subject unto the Bible, unto these laws, these ordinances, that pizza joint wouldn't have been open on the Sabbath anyway. But because they did have that service, they did provide that service, we did get that pizza. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But you got a lot of people that want to take the certain extremes unnecessarily. Now these brothers, to not profane the Sabbath, because they think that they're doing something righteous by just you know, making themselves martyrs. They chose that road. Verse 38. So they rose up against them in battle on the Sabbath and slew them, with their wives and their children and their cattle, to the number of 1,000 people. So these are people that did not keep that king's ordinance and commandment, but they also didn't want to fight. And their women and their children, their dogs, their cats, their hamsters, their cattle, all got put to death. So like I'm exaggerating a little bit there. It only mentioned cattle. No hamsters were killed in the making of this historic record, I suppose. It's like it. Now, so it was about 1,000 people. Verse 39. Now when Mattathias and his friends understood that hereof, they mourned for them right sore. That's I can imagine how sad of news that must have been to bear. And again, you know, we hear about it every day, about, you know, this brother getting murdered, that sister getting murdered, suicide, overdoses, missing persons. Because the men who were supposed to defend us didn't. Because they thought that mixed multitude needed to include all the other nations, and in order for it to be definably a mixed multitude. They want to join us hand in hand with everybody. They want to make marriages with all these other nations. They want to make covenants with them. They want to show mercy into them. They ain't trying to show us mercy. By telling you to go directly against your God, your customs, your religion, your faith, that's not an act of mercy. Because people are getting put to death for not doing this, as we can see right here. They're getting put to death for not wanting to make that sacrifice, for not wanting to kill the pig on our altars. We got put to death. That's not mercy. That's not love. That's not brotherhood. That's not compassion. We ain't supposed to have that for them either when they're trying to do this to us. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna go and go screaming some devil face that's not trying to put their knee on our neck, that's not trying to sell us drugs or sell us guns so that we can kill each other. At the same time, man, you better leave us alone. Yeah, you ain't got nothing to say to us anyway. If you're not trying to destroy my culture, what else do we got to talk about? No, so you want to do some business? You want to do some commerce? We can do that. We can do that. We've worked with other people before. Ain't nothing wrong with that in these records. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But we ain't supposed to make marriages with them. We ain't supposed to take on their ways. And you're not supposed to drop your sword. Those men should have fought on the Sabbath. Because ain't nothing wrong with defending your faith. It just be like, I don't care if it would have been the Passover. If somebody come in there looking to push that on us, we fighting at the Passover, man. We fighting at the Passover. September 25th is coming up for the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. They try to push that on us. We fighting during that memorial, and that's a high holy day. That's a holy convocation. We fighting. We ain't just gonna lay down just because it's the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. What do you think them trumpets were? What do you think we're memorializing anyway? Us dropping our sword, just laying down to die? No. I think's not. Now Mattathias and his friends that stood hereof, they mourned for them right sore. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws. They fighting for their laws too. Not just their lives, they fighting for their culture. So like, and fight not for our lives in laws against the heathen, they will not quickly root us out of the earth. They might have put a stop to Israel at this time if these brothers did not keep their swords. If they laid down just like the mother brothers did, they may have lost that battle completely. And we might not have any remembrance or any remnant of Israel. How would I say? It took a lot to get the historical, the archaeological proof that we needed to substantiate that vision. Damn, Salaki, can't remember either one name right now. Salaki, forgive me. Salaki to the men above me. Yaquab, no. Arya? Was it Arya vision? It's like, if somebody know in the chat, let me know. Just to refresh my memory on the brother name. But if we got completely destroyed, our brothers over here, the transatlantic slave trade may not have gone the way that it did. In 70 AD, millions of Jews may not have, they wouldn't have, they possibly would not have been alive to even flee into the west banks of Africa. For them to come over here, to wake us up, to reinvigorate the spirit of Yahweh in our people, in his chosen people, to even be having these classes. Like, everything may have just gotten stopped right then and there if these men did not do what they did and stood their ground. Verse 41. At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against them. Neither will we die all, as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places. That's what I'm saying. These men stood their ground, and the Lord was with them because they were protecting their lives and their laws and their ordinances. They did not turn their back on the how to say, I don't like using the word religion, but that might be what we had here. Yeah, they didn't turn their back on their forefathers, man. They didn't turn their back on the God of their forefathers. They did not forsake their law and their ordinances. We keep on playing games with this and letting everybody in. We're going to forget what the mission is, and they will gentrify Israel completely. And we might get rooted out. It's important to keep this thing separate, extremely separate, biased. It's important to be very biased and selfish about this. That don't mean you got to be a tyrant. That don't mean you got to be malicious. That don't mean you got to be some what's the word? Damn. Begins with a V. It's right there. Salaki. Not a villain, not a hero. Vagabond. If it comes to me later, you won't talk about it. But yeah, you ain't gotta be mean and disrespectful about this. But you gotta be selfish about it. You gotta be willing to fight for this. So we don't lose our culture. We don't lose that how your house I was describing it. You know, his father got a mansion with many rooms. We cannot let that be gentrified. We cannot let the kingdom of God be gentrified. I mean, it's not going to be the kingdom if it does. It's, you know, he wouldn't let that pass through. We would just continue to be in hell and continue to be overrun left and right, and the vultures are just going to continue to circle around us. You need the proper context of John 3:16. We've got many classes all over the country, all over the world, all over YouTube, all over social media. I don't think you can pick a social media outlet that you couldn't find us on in some way, shape, or form. So, I mean, definitely you need to start gathering together. Understand that the Lord had severed you from everybody else. We're going to get that one real quick, too. But this is the story that we just read here in the Maccabees. This was also a point where you know, that gentrification and that integration started seeping in, and we started giving up our culture and making covenants and making negotiations and coming to terms with them. You know, the brother later on ended up making a bad deal with the Romans that, of course, surprise, surprise, they reneged on him. But we remember these brothers and they sacrificed. Remember that sister and her 7 sons and they sacrificed. Remember our king. Remember all the brothers and sisters that came before us that ain't with us right now. And in just over a week, but again, we're gonna have the memorial, the blowing of the trumpets on the 25th at sundown. You got any questions, comments, or concerns, man? Go to isrpk.org. See that I know certain parts of it was not functioning earlier. Let's check this out real quick. You can still go up here, pay your tithes, make donations. On the 29th, I believe, is the cookout in Nashville, Tennessee. The 28th or the 29th, select it. But get in touch with them brothers too, man. They got a cookout in the South for them. Good food, safe atmosphere. You know, nothing but brotherhood and sisterhood, respect, and you know, all that peace and love that everybody wants to talk about. All that, you know, gather together that everybody wants to talk about. Well, then do it. Do it. You know, it's not a high holy day. It's not a holy convocation, but it is the Southern Cookout, or one of them. I think we're ending with Texas. So, like, my internet could just be out, but ispk.org is not popping up. Let me try the original. Privacy area. Not letting that one. So they still might be under construction. But you can always get in contact with the school near you. Again, if you go into your browser, ISUPK, pick a spot. ISPK Pluto. There's a brother out there. You know what I'm saying? But if you're sincere about rebuilding this nation, if you're serious about keeping the laws, whether your understanding is fringes on your t-shirts and the Sabbath is on Sundays, that we're not supposed to pay tithes, whatever. If you're sincere about keeping the laws, keeping the culture, at least gather together with the brothers. At least sincerely have that conversation, and don't be afraid to be proven wrong. We're not. That's why we have debates all the time. That's why we battle left and right, because we're putting something. How would I say it? We're protecting what we have at stake. We're protecting what's already being risked and gambled away by everybody. All of our community leaders, all of your preachers and pastors and Sunday school teachers. It's already being gambled away. So at least over here, you got somebody willing to fight for it, like the Maccabees brothers, man. Like Mattathias and his sons. Just in 2022, you got Commanding General Yohanan in the UPK. I'm trying to tell you, ain't nothing different. That same heartbreaking story that we just read from 1 Maccabees chapter 2, all the way to when them brothers made a decree. Listen, man, we ain't backing down. That entire chunk that we just read, that is UPK. That is the Israelite School UPK and the Commanding General Yohanan right now, today. All these other brothers that you're reading about, Nehemiah, Jeremiah, Ezra, Ezekiel, all them brothers. You read their stories. You read the transcriptions of our records. You go into these history books. You're going to see us. Brother, you might see yourself. Don't go running around telling people that you're Ezekiel, though. Don't be that guy. You're not King David. You're not King Saul. Because nobody wants to be King Saul. Everybody wants to be King David and Solomon. Don't nobody want to be King Saul. Somebody got to be, because his spirit is still going to come back. Judas Iscariot, his spirit is going to come back. Don't nobody want to be Judas. Ain't nobody the reincarnation of Judas. Everybody's John and Paul and Peter. Ain't nobody Judas. Somebody got to be Judas. Somebody. But the Lord reset that man too, so that he's got another chance to show himself approved. And it's not just by studying, mind you. Study these scriptures, absolutely, so that you can answer accordingly with biblical integrity and with strength. But it's not just done by reading the book. It's living the culture. Now, if you think your high holy day date is correct and the Passover should be set every year whenever you say, no sweat. Just prove it. You know what I'm saying? Prove it and throw yourself into this Bible to make that, to implement that. If that's what it is. Argue it until you're blue in the face. Otherwise, just don't, and you and your buddies can set your dinner table with all the gay apparel that you can imagine. Maybe a little tinsel and glitter, on the corners, give it a little sparkle, little twinkle, just to set the mood. And y'all can do that all you want. Just don't teach the Bible. Now that's all I personally ask. Just get up out the way. If you're not gonna help us keep this thing together on one accord, just get up out the way. Just get up out the way, or bring it to the table. Gather together. Come kick it with us, man. Come check us out in real life. Call any of those phone numbers that any school has, or go to any of their Facebook pages. Any brother that you see that's on your friends list on Facebook, you want to battle this thing out, that's cool. And there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean you got hatred in your heart for your brothers. That doesn't mean you're looking for contention. That does mean that you believe you got the truth, even if it's just on that one subject. You might not have the truth on the other subjects because, you know, ain't nobody got the 100% truth because, you know, the truth live over here and live over here and live over here and live over here. But you got the truth about when the high holy day is. No sweat. Battle that till you're blue in the face, till the earth, you know, explodes. And bring all that fire and passion and zeal that you got for your culture. But do it. Or just shut up and get up out the way, man. Just move over. Clubhouse has really inflated a lot of people's egos, and that's all you're gonna end up doing. You're just gonna be some dude on Clubhouse. That's it. It's not gonna go any farther than that. I don't want that to be your legacy. I want everybody to be legendary in Israel. I want everybody to be legendary. Starts by at least gathering together. You know, if you think that that's what you're doing, listen, may the Lord be with you. Just stay up out of our way. Stay out of our way. Don't get in our face about it, because we will fight tooth and nail for this. There's a difference set up between us and everybody. I think I'm gonna close it out with this scripture, Leviticus chapter 20, verses 24 through 26. But I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, but I will give it unto you to possess it, a land that floweth with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, which have separated you from other people, man. He separated us from everybody else. He put other nations to waste so that we can take it over. So we can have that milk and honey. It was meant for us anyway. Now we'll be that light unto the how people want to say that light unto the Gentiles. In this case, if you think that Gentiles is all the other nations, listen, let's even entertain that thought for a second. Even if that's the case, everybody's gonna get put in their place. They're gonna get their just dues, including them Gentiles. That milk and honey, you know, there's a trickle effect. You know what I'm saying? It starts at the top. Everybody else at the bottom, you know, they might get some. It ain't gonna be what we got at the top though. Everybody trying to give that away. They want to gentrify the kingdom of God. They want to gentrify Israel. As an Israelite, you cannot let that happen. It's such a shame. It is heartbreaking to see some of the conversations that I go into the clubhouse rooms with, or some of the YouTube channels that some nut has, just because they got an internet connection. Mind you, and all these brothers and all these sisters want to count themselves teachers and apostles and prophets. Well, who said that? Now, who told you was a teacher? God told me I was a teacher. The Most High spoke to me. All right. Okay. Dude, whatever. Commander General Yohana spoke to me. Adwan Rapai Yala spoke to me. Captain Malquad spoke to me. Commander General Yohana spoke to us. I didn't pour oil on my own head and read a couple scriptures in the dark. We were put to task in front of our nation and approved. Verse 25. Ye shall therefore put difference between clean beasts and unclean. There's a reason why we have a clean and unclean categories for beasts. And between unclean fowls and clean. Same thing for the birds, same thing for the fish, same thing for the creepy things on the ground. You can eat locusts and grasshoppers. You can't eat cockroaches. Nobody wants to eat a cockroach. Nobody likes the idea of that. Nobody wants to be Judas. I'm just saying. And between unclean fowl and clean, and ye shall not make your souls abominable by beast or by fowl or by any manner of living thing that creepeth on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. You are supposed to keep the dietary laws. None of that was given up. None of that was abolished. None of that was done away with. You are supposed to keep the dietary laws, all the cultural laws of our people. Verse 26, and ye shall be holy unto me. You're supposed to be separate unto me. You're supposed to be special unto me. Deuteronomy 7:6, and a couple others too, just to back up that point. Deuteronomy 7:6, Isaiah 40:17, 2 Ezra 6:5, where is it? Psalms 139 or 147, I think, Salaki. But verse 26, and ye shall be holy unto me, for I the Lord am holy. This is a separate God. This is a separate power. This ain't Buddha. They're not one and the same. This ain't Allah. They're not just called by different names, different attributes of the same God. These are just different characteristics. No. Our power is separate. Our power is holy too. The same way we are holy people, separate from everybody else, our power is separate too. And have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. Good night. We're supposed to keep this thing holy. You're supposed to keep this thing special and separate from everybody else so that they can't get their hands on this. If we let down our guard, they will gentrify Israel. They will try to gentrify the kingdom of God. We cannot let that happen. You count yourself as a brother, you count yourself as a sister. You cannot allow that to happen. If you ain't got the gumption to stand up on these laws, just like how the brother said, on our lives and on our laws, if you don't have that in you, that's fine. Just step out the way. Don't get in our way when we trying to defend y'all. Don't make that argument and that fight against us when we trying to protect you, so that if you don't feel that you can fight on the Sabbath because it's the Sabbath, it's a day of rest, and it's a holy day to God. I don't want to get unclean or blah blah blah. No, so we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it so that we ain't never got to know what heroin addiction is like. So that we ain't never got to see our brothers and sisters bloodied and beaten and shot to death in the middle of the street, and their bodies just lying right there. We ain't got to have, you remember that video, that little girl, that little sister, tiny little thing, acting a damn fool in school, yeah. Acting a damn fool, yes. Getting thrashed, getting manhandled by that beast. That was a big boy. That was a big dog that they sicked on that little girl, man. We'll do this on the Sabbath so that you ain't got to, so that we can protect her, so that we can get our house in order, so we can get our people acting right again. So we're not sitting there acting crazy, man. Crazy. Like we looking to die. Like we looking to give somebody some excuse to call the cops on us so that we can fight with the cops, try to reach for their gun and get your head blown off. So that they can make a murder case out of something that could have just been disorderly conduct. Now it's a homicide. Now somebody just lost somebody that they love. Because we let this devil in our midst. It's time to drive them out, destroy them utterly. I'm talking about spiritually. It's all a spiritual battle, as 2 Corinthians 4:10. Let's get that real quick. Well, we'll close it out with 2 Corinthians. We're just getting over the time. We'll close it out right up over here, just to make this clear about the line that I'm trying to, the picture I'm trying to paint for the people. You are not to go out and go start a fight with any cops, with anybody, with any heathen, any devil. You are not to do that. You are to get yourself in line, clean yourself up, man. In the way that we live, the way that we act, the way that we think and feel, the way that we overreact, our mental health, along with our hygiene. Let's make this more accessible for us, so that we're not keeping each other in the dark or segregating our culture from each other and giving it to somebody else. So that we can eat food in the same room as a devil. To me, it's not worth it. But I'm UPK. I don't know. We different. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, except for 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. Verse 5, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. That's the point of this. That's how we keep this picket line solid and no scabs can run through. That's going to require work. That's going to require some people hearing some words that they find unbecoming of an Israelite. I don't know if you know this about Israelites, but them brothers went to war for their lives and for the laws. With that, we are the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969, 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are led by Commanding General Yohana. Israel, pay your tithes. And there's a rule for brothers and sisters. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find it in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or a teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Again, keep on checking in with isupk.org and .com to see when the site gets rebuilt. Otherwise, we'll let you know when we get word of it. If you got the Zelle app, I haven't had any recent problems with mine, so you still have the Zelle account. First name Israelite School, last name UPK, email ties@isupk.com. You can still pay your tithes, make donations there. Or you can get in contact with the school near you. If you were in Arizona, for example, or if you're living in China, for all I care, you can go to the Cash App, $ all caps, UPK Minnesota. You can make donations to our school. Or if you needed to pay tithes that way, you can send your tithe money to that Cash App, and we can forward it appropriately too. Upcoming Holy Convocation, man, September 25th at sundown, it is going down, the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets, man. Gather together with the people around you. Whether you disagree with us or not, at least on high holy days, we should be able to come together and kick it as Israelites without any problems. Bring some food, bring some strong, get ready to have a good time with your people, man. I'll actually be out on the res at that time on the Menominee Reservation, so we're gonna kind of revisit this with them too. And the cookout, the Tennessee cookout, like in Nashville, Tennessee, that's coming up on either the 20th or the 29th. If anybody knows, you can definitely include that in the chat too. And with that, any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. That means your boots, your shirt, your pant, headband, and or a scarf. With that, Ahmadium, which would mean stand, or Ahmad, which would mean stand. Ahmadium is, you gotta be talking to everybody stand. So in the social media world, if you're following us on social media, Ahmadium. So for all of you to stand, upon Yaquadam, turn to face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. You can find it in Matthew chapter 6, verse 8 through 13. Abinawu, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwavka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Natan Menaw, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Basalach Menaw, Kabarat Naw, Kasalach Naw, Kabarat Yanaw, Wala'ah, Dabiyad Naw, Barsawan, Abal, Hawashad Naw, Bayam, Rai, Kaya, Lakat, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Wahata Parah, La'awalam, Aman. In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Say the prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Barak Lenawa, Waya Shah, Wabaya, Sapari, Barak, Rapah, Magun, Hagun. At this time, you can say the name of a loved one once. Everyone repeats that name once. If you're following us on social media, you can type in the name of a loved one. We'll send the prayers up with you. It's like I got you. Check this one, brother. Again, man, we got babies. We got babies popping out left and right. It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. Recent officer Kodai Zayan. It's like the house of Kodai Zayan. The newly born sister, Zakaya. Yapar. Israelite School UPK. UPK Minnesota. UPK Milwaukee. UPK Chicago. UPK Reds. All of Israel. Benjamin, Jamin, and Rakapai. Anali. All the destroyed of Israel. Keep it short to the point. Bashim Yahushai, about our month. In English, Lord, in the name of Yahushai, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahushai, thank you, so be it. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, listen to us now. Right now, send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us. Thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school, and force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the Edomites, and the nations, and their drug dealers, their court systems, the prison systems, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Pazkomatazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake it that coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you always. So be it. So to the front. Men of Israel, Madim Shabbat, Madim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Barakathon, Yazmatag means hand down. Courtesy salute for the sisters. Any sister in the room with you, turn to the sister, saw to the sister. Men of Israel, and Madim Shabbat, Madim, Barak, Yahweh Shemar Latam Bashim Yahushua, Yazmatag, class dismissed. Shalom, Israel.